But again, I want to do some kind of semi-permanent mount, and I'm probably going to do it off the back here. Just have something. The reason is because I want it high enough to where it's going to shine forward and see everything, especially this camera has a super wide view. See everything that's coming, see everything behind you on both sides, but like it's a floating camera. So it's going to have to be a vertical, you know, coming off here somewhere vertical. So I'll think about it, and I've already got something in my mind right now what I want to do, and there's enough room right here to put it on this tunnel. I just got to think of what I want to do as far as make it out of, I don't know, ABS or something like lightweight like aluminum, or it's probably going to be steel. So just a basic angle iron square, just welded, I already welded this piece. So just making a square out of it, and then when I put it on a sled, I'm going to have holes here, probably 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, you know, 6 holes, 2 on each side, 2 over there. Make sure the sucker is secure. That'll be like the tray. The reason well, I'll show you on a sled. Alright, so before I drill the holes, this is what I'm thinking, something like this. It's just going to fit in here. And the mast is going to go up here for the camera. And I'll do some angle irons, but what I want to do is make some holes here too for, like I said, I need to save this area. There's a zipper here for the back of the seat. There's some little bit of tools in there and stuff. So I took the seat off to make it a little easier to just made my marks there. So I think I'm gonna, I already looked underneath. Gonna miss the heat exchanger, so I'm gonna mount it there. So I took that bracket, marked all the holes, drilled out through the bracket into the tunnel here. So I just put a couple of rib nuts in there. I'll show you in a second. I gotta drill the rest of these holes out. So over here, I had to be careful with the wire for the tail light, but I think it's all set now. That way, when you take your when I take this bracket off, I could put the bolts right back in here to cover them holes, so nothing is affected. Two more. Right, let's see here. Might have to get a little bit longer screws. These are working, but I wanted stainless. This is the only stainless I have. So that's going to be a permanent mount, not permanent, semi-permanent, because we can take these bolts out and then just put the bolts back in after the bracket's gone. But now I'm going to start doing a mass. I just wanted to make sure this was, you know, secure. So that's going to work out good. So it's just vice grip on there, but I'm thinking something like this. This mast will be up here, and then I'll have to make something for the camera. But this is just sitting on there. So that's a little bit of square tubing. I want this thin stuff. This is what's gonna hide the camera as far as the look like a floating camera. This bar is skinnier than the actual camera lenses, so you won't see this looking down this bar. However, you might see this bar here. It's gonna be painted black, but in order to achieve this floating camera look, you know, I need to have this thing sturdy, so I have to put this angle iron in somewhere. I can't put it too low here just because you know, it's going to be too flimsy up there. So a little bit more than halfway up, and once everything's welded and there's some kind of, you know, place for your camera up there, it's going to be sturdy enough. That's pretty thick stuff. But I want that, you know, going down the road, the 360 look, I want it to look like the camera is just flying behind you. I don't want to see any of this stuff, and unfortunately, like I said, might see a little bit of this angle here, but once it's painted black, I believe it'll be hidden. We'll see what happens though. So let me fry that up, and then I'll get to the top piece for the camera, for the actual ball to sit on and all that. So we're closing in here. So let me get that welded up right quick. Alright, so I got, might be a little noise in here. It got really cold in here, so I have to start the heat. So I got this angle bracket here, part that goes on here. And then here's what I'm thinking about that for the camera mount. The camera mount will go this way, like this little piece here. I'm just gonna weld that to that to have extra support and you know, a place to put the ball for the ram mount. The ball will be up on here. But that's it. Let's get the ball mounted up there and paint this thing up. See what it looks like on the sled outside. Once again, this thing is pretty solid, so I think it'll work out pretty good. Alright, so I think this is part of that ram system. This is just a ball with I believe that's a 1/4 inch 20 thread. I'm not sure, I'll have to match it up, get a tap for it. But I can put these anywhere. Here, obviously I'm going to put one on the top here, right? And then probably one on the left, maybe one over here. Just all around, I'll have to buy a few more of these. And that way, whatever angle I'm looking for, it's going to be there, you know? Alright, so I was just about to mount this up, and I got to thinking, this is going to be metal on metal with that tunnel. And I was thinking it's probably going to transfer a lot of vibrations. The camera's going to be up there, or on one of these rungs or whatever. I think it's going to transfer too much vibration, right? So just ran to the hardware store. I like this rubber foam weather strip, adhesive back, high density. Here's the part I like, waterproof. So I'm just going to add some strips of this on the bottom of this, just to well, stop it from scratching metal on metal, but hopefully to take out if there's any, you know, vibration or whatever. So that stuff is super sticky. So I got kind of double rung, but I don't want to get close to the holes where them rib nuts are. So I left kind of a little space around there, but I think this will do the trick. Alright, so adding that foam, I think that was the ticket there, because there's a little bit of discrepancy, especially where that dent was, where the stud was. So this kind of filled everything in and tightened down pretty good. So it's mounted up there, and the reason it seems so tall is because this is on a stand, so I can roll the sled around in the garage. But it's probably, as the rider goes, just above my helmet, maybe a little bit. But I just got it on regular mode. I'm not going to have it on 360 mode because it's on the horizon level and stability mode, and so it doesn't really matter if this is a little tweaked one way or the other as far as, you know, if the camera's not exactly centered or whatever, because the software inside takes care of all that. It makes the horizon level. Everything is going to look level, even if it, you know, it's a little crook. So especially on 360, it shines all around. This is the purpose of having this camera, just to have it shine all around. But just to see if this thing wobbles or vibrates, which I'm pretty sure it's gonna, even though we tighten it down. I could tighten it down a little more, I guess. But you know, that's pretty sturdy. I don't think it'll go anywhere going down a trail. But let's see what it's when we start this up, how bad it shakes. And I guess let me turn this on, and we'll monitor. Where the hell's the button? All right, so it's on now. So that's going to be stable as crap because the sled ain't running. But let's see when we start this sucker. So I can see it shake. I don't know if, because both of these cameras have stability control, I don't know if it's going to come out that it's shaking, but it is shaking at idle. So that's just a little demonstration. I'm going to throw the Hero 4 on there and show you probably what that shake is. with a normal camera without stability control. Not that this video is about stability control, I just wanted to make a mount for this thing. But I'm thinking this is going to take care of everything. I won't know until I actually get it on a trail, but this is just a little demonstration, well, for me mostly, but holy crap, man. So I had to go find this this old camera, this Hero 4, and of course it doesn't have any battery in it, so I put a memory card in. Well, it had a battery, but it's completely dead. And I was like, man, I don't want to charge a battery. So I remember this thing, I used it last year, like a year ago. And let me just shake this. I was just checking it out. This is an extended battery. You kind of put it in, goes in the slot in the back of, you know, a GoPro. But it just came on a second ago. This battery I haven't used in over a year. It's got 3/4 of a charge. It did cost $100 and it weighs about as much as a car battery, but if you're looking, they claim 24 hours on continuous filming, and I've never actually filmed it for 24 hours, but it was pretty impressive that this thing was still active. All right, I got in there. It says busy, but it works, which is unbelievable. A year later, there it goes. Well, it's down. It's 50. It had 3 ticks there. 50%. Haven't used it in a year, so I don't know who makes this, but I think it was $100. But so let's turn this on. And so this does not have stability control. So we're going to mount it up here on this new thing, start the sled, and see if this thing vibrates, and see what the quality is. And then I'll compare them. So I can see it shaking. I don't know if the camera I'm filming with can see it shaking, but hello? So it is shaking, but again, going down a trail with this thing on there, if it's a bumpy trail, this doesn't have stability control. It is really, you know, something I can't watch just because I get motion sickness just thinking about it. But we'll see what the difference are. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I'm done for making this rack here. So I did go ahead, I don't know if I pointed this out earlier, I drilled and tapped out some 1/4 inch 20 holes around this bracket every you know, not everywhere, but just in certain locations. And then all I have to do is thread the ball into any of them. I've actually ordered some more of them just to have them already in place. But I just putting rib nuts, 1/4 inch 20 rib nuts. There's one there. So you can have a mount off the back of the bar here, and so I think it'll work out good. But so if you can't or don't want to make this rack, the reason I wanted this particular you know, bracket is because I want the third person kind of view, especially with a 360. So using the RAM product, you know, tightening this down, you don't really have to tighten it that much because it's basically a steel ball here coated with rubber. It's got a grip on it. You can't move this. Once you tighten it down, it won't move. So just using that product, like I said, into anywhere. You can drill a hole into here, tap it out, whether you want to use rib nuts or whatever. That's actually, I don't know if you can see that. That is a 1/4 inch 20 hole. I've just got a stainless bolt in there painted just to, you know, in case you want to stick a camera off of here, right? And look that way. So you don't really need to make this. I'm just pointing out some ideas, and I'm just curious how this thing's going to work out once I get it on a trail. So I guess it worked out pretty good. I still have it. It didn't fall off, and the trails are really rough, and it was extremely cold. It just melted everything off here, but it was extremely cold, and I had a problem with the sled. I think the thermostat's bad or something. But while I was up there, I was looking back while the camera's on there, and again, these trails were extremely rough. A lot of rollers, a lot of chatter bumps, too much traffic. Had decent snow, a lot of snow up here in Indian Lake, New York, Moose River Plains area. It's usually flat across there, so I kind of wanted to see if this thing is achieving what I want, that third-person view, as you know, as you're sitting there, and never really got to achieve that because it was so rigidly cold. The batteries kept freezing, and so I have limited footage, but I think the rack is going to work out. However, I am going to have to modify it. I can't get it in here. This doesn't open high enough. Unfortunately, it's an inch short. Even if I take the ball off, it's an inch short. It comes to about here, the top of or the bottom of that lip there. So I'm either going to have to take this on and off every time which is problematic when it's 0 degrees outside, because you have to take your gloves off. But I'm probably going to chop it somewhere, maybe here, and lower it, or chop it somewhere, probably up here somewhere. Chop it somewhere. I do like it. I don't know if I'm going to use it all the time, but if I'm looking for the third-person view, that floating camera look, I think this will work out good. That's just an idea if anybody's looking for a third-person view type of, floating camera type of thing. And I probably pointed out earlier, I'm just putting these balls anywhere I think that would be a good camera angle. This would be looking back, obviously. I might put one up front, looking back at you from the front of the sled. I've seen that look before. Looks pretty cool. Okay, so this is just, it's mounted on the actual mount there. You can't see it. This is what I was looking for, just the bird's eye view or third-person view, but no, like it's floating. So when you're going down a trail, and the way these 360 cameras operate, you can get any angle that you want when you're editing. So it's just a camera floating in the air behind you or whatever. Even if you look straight down, you can't see where this camera is. So like I said, you could just, when you're editing, look all around it. It's a pretty cool device. But that was the purpose of making this rack, just to have it above you, as if somebody's flying behind you. So I don't have any footage of going down a trail just because it was so rigid cold out. The battery kept freezing. But actually, this only audio came out on this. That's why it's a still picture. So I have to get a cover for that, or I don't know, pick a warmer day. It was negative numbers, so camera kept freezing. But I just wanted to show you what I was aiming at as far as, trying to get this camera above my head, and as if, somebody's following you or something like that, and you can't see it. There's no evidence of the actual, it's like the hidden selfie stick kind of deal. The program takes care of that. You don't have to do nothing about it. Just have the mount underneath your camera, and it does it automatically. But anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.